Hands. Pointing hands. Look over there. Ah, yeah. Angry hands. Hands. Jazz hands. Oh, yeah. Hands. German hands. Oh, I've got hands. I've got hands. No, Hubs, you haven't got hands. Ah! Hubs, you haven't got hands. You've got paws. Stop it trying to eat my hands. Hubs! No. Ah! I think that's demonstrated how important hands are, doodlers. They're really, really important whenever you're doing a drawing. So this week we're going to be looking at hands, how to draw them, because whether you're drawing your character holding something, different emotions, if your character's happy or sad or angry or shaking their fist or something like that, hands are a really, really important part of drawing a character, but they're not always easy to draw. One top tip whenever you're drawing hands and you're thinking how should it look if someone's pointing or they're waving or they're holding something, you've got a hand right there that you can copy. That's always a really useful way of getting the hand right. So this week we're going to take a look how best to kind of use those really simple shapes in order to kind of come up with different hands and different hand movements. So let's get back to the drawing board. Let's get doodling. So we're back at the drawing board and we're going to start off by drawing some really simple shapes. I'm going to use a sort of rectangle, but it's a little bit wider at the top than it is at the bottom. I've drawn that in blue. That's going to be the palm of the hand. Then 4 rectangles to show the fingers. And then the thumb, which is always the tricky bit. So we draw right from the centre out of the palm back to the bottom of the blue rectangle. And that sort of makes the basic shape of a hand. So the tricky bit is getting the thumb right. So all we're doing is drawing from the centre of where that blue rectangle, although it's a little, not quite a rectangle, is it? It's a little bit wider at the top. It goes out and then it goes back to the bottom. And that works on the other side, works from whether you're drawing the hand from underneath, looking at the palm or looking at the kind of knuckles. That's the kind of real basic shape of a hand. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to draw one hand, but one from the back of the hand and one from the palm of the hand. So you can sort of see how that works both ways. Again with those rectangles. They're a bit sort of like lopsided rectangles. So you can see the little sort of dot in the centre of the palm and going out and back down to the bottom. That's going to be the basic shape of the thumb. And on the other side, back from the middle, back out to the bottom. Now the left hand we're going to draw the palm, like someone's holding out their palm shouting, "Stop!" I've used some blue lines underneath here. These are kind of construction lines. These are just to kind of give you a rough idea of the shape, and then I'm going to go over the top in black so you can see it a little bit better. But sometimes these just sort of sketching it out. This is what artists and illustrators do often, is they sketch things out, often in a different colour, just these little construction lines, and then when you're happy and you can kind of go over the top with the detail. But this is just to show you the basic shapes. Make sure that the finger looks a little bit big. Make that a little bit smaller, which is one of the reasons why using construction lines or using the pencil really faint means that you can change anything in case you're not happy. So I've just rubbed out that line on the right hand. So, and just added a little line there, so hopefully you can see now we're kind of looking down on the hand. Going to go over the top with a few black lines so you can start to see the detail, so we can add bits we need, bits we don't need. But that just shows you that using that shape, using that formula of the kind of the wobbly sort of lopsided rectangle, That little triangle going out for the thumb, those rectangles for the fingers, really simple shapes, works. There we go. What about anything that I'm not happy with? See some little fingernails. These hands are looking a little bit chunky and a little bit dirty, but that's okay. They're just kind of quick sketches. Just zoom out, just to make sure I'm happy with the drawing. So yeah, that shows you those kind of really simple shapes and how they might work. If you're going to have some different poses for hands, I'm going to get that lopsided rectangle. This is hand, if you're drawing someone who's holding something, this is a good hand. So basically I'm imagining those rectangles being bent over, okay? I'm still drawing from the centre of the palm and going out like that, but instead of the thumb going all the way out, I'm kind of going to draw it in so it's kind of clasping the fist. Do another one on the other side. So this hand's going to be sort of pointing down. So again, the kind of shorter line of that lopsided rectangle is going to be where the wrist is going to be, and the fingers are coming down. 4 little rectangles, draw out from the middle, and that line back, making that sort of triangle that we can then draw over the top of, rub out if the bits that we don't need. I'm going to just delete a couple of those lines. Make some of those fingers look a little bit longer. Quite happy with how that's looking. Let's do another one. This again, so the shorter line of that lopsided rectangle is going to be where the wrist is. I've got hands coming out. This hand, let's have the finger pointing. So I'm just going to imagine bending those rectangles of the fingers over. We're going to go from the middle of the palm out again. That's going to be the thumb. And we can start to make that triangle a little bit softer, maybe a few little curves, because obviously your thumb isn't a perfect triangle. You can soften it up and you can look at your hand. This is a really good thing to do, is if you're practicing drawing lots of hands, different poses, look at your hand, see how the thumb goes, because the thumb is really tricky. It's a kind of slightly odd shape, and it's not a perfect triangle, but that triangle will give you a good basis to work from. I'm going to do another one. Again, lopsided rectangle, thin end at the bottom, that's going to be where the wrist is. And this is going to be the back of the hand, so it was almost like the same hand that we've just drawn, but from the back. So we're going to see the knuckles and things like this on this hand, which means that once we're happy with the shape, we can delete anything we don't want. I'm going to just fade that layer down. I can start to add the black line over the top. So the app I'm using is Procreate. I get asked a lot of questions about which app I use. It's a really good app for the iPad, and we might at some point do a little tutorial about this, but everything I'm showing you can do with a pencil, paper and a rubber. add some more detail of the hands we've drawn. You can see that hand on the top left is a really good hand for grabbing things, for holding things. And start to colour in the rest of it, get those details going. So yeah, this is the hand from the back, so we can decide which lines we want to colour over the top. We're going to use that triangle to be the thumb. So there you go, that's how I draw hands, and it's still those really simple shapes. I've shown you how they all work together. So have a look at your hand. Do some different poses with your hands, see how it really works, see how you can use all those shapes together, moving them around to come up with hand drawings and hand designs for your characters. But I shall see you very soon on Doodle Do It. Until then, happy doodling.